visibility. Today what I'm going to try to do is actually, I don't know, for me one of the more difficult aspects of beekeeping is looking through this silly veil. I mean, it's kind of all dark, it clouds your vision, you're trying to look for your queen, you're trying to look for eggs, the sun's pounding on you. It's tough looking through this veil. I've always had a desire for something better. Why are we looking through a screen right next to our eyes? Today, we're going to improve this, at least give it a try, and see if we can see better. Let's get started. So how do we get rid of the veil and still have protection from the bees, but yet increase our visibility? Today, what I'm going to try to do is actually cut an opening, kind of a rectangular opening right here in this veil in the front. And then I'm going to take some plastic and I'm going to cut a piece of plastic, and then I'm going to epoxy the plastic right in the opening so that it sets up and will be sealed off really well, so that I can look through a piece of plastic, a clear piece of plastic, and that way I think I can see eggs better, find my queen better. I think the most difficult thing for me today is going to be cutting the veil. It's not really difficult to cut, I don't think, but it's difficult to cut emotionally. I mean, this is my favorite hat and veil. You've seen it in videos, I love it. And if I cut it and I can't make this project work out for me, then I'm gonna have to trash the whole hat and veil. It's done. This doesn't come off, it's actually sewn on the top, and I'll lose my hat and veil. But it's worth the risk. I've learned in life that in order to really accomplish something better, to try to achieve a greater goal, sometimes you just have to take a risk. I've learned that, you know, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. So today, let's get right in on it and see about cutting this. The first thing I'm gonna do, I've already kind of figured out about how large of an opening that I need. I think I need about, to come down about 2 inches off the top. So I'm gonna try to stay where the center is. The center is right here. And let's come down, oh, I don't know, let's see. Not gonna have to be rocket science, but we'll get as close as we can. So that's the center. And I think what I'll do is kind of come to about this distance here. I've got a queen marking pin. I thought that would work out good. Let's go a little bit more. I want to have plenty of space where I can see, and I'll come the same distance over here to about right here. So let's go from about here. Let's see, I'm freehanding this. Down to here. And across. Now let me put it on and see if that's going to be kind of an area that I can see through nicely. If not, I can expand it out. Okay. I don't even see it. Is it on there? It's amazing. Can't see it in here at all, but let me see. I'm gonna go look in a mirror. Okay, so the mirror helps a lot. I can see now that I'm off a little bit. Like difficult kind of looking in a mirror. So I'm gonna actually square this off a little better like this. I think that's good. I think the height is good. It does seem to be right in front of my eyes. So I'm gonna put this marker here. That looks a little close. Let's take it out further to here. And this marker isn't bad either, but let's take it out just a little bit. Give us a little bigger of a window. Okay, I think that's gonna be good. So let me just put my fingers. Actually, I can't see the white mark at all through the veil. No, I can't make out where it is, so I can only look in a mirror. Okay, that'd be good. And then from here to here. Okay, that'd be perfect. Let's try that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is cut the rectangle out. I'm gonna pinch me some slack here. I can get a good bite and get a line started. I don't think this is gonna have to be rocket science exact. Just enough to get the job done. The one thing that I'm a little concerned about is using the epoxy to hold the plastic onto the screen. I think I can do it. I had a friend that I consulted with who's really a good person that knows this kind of stuff. And he said the epoxy should hold really well. It dries fast, he said, but I've got to mix it. It comes in 2 parts, so I'm gonna have to mix it together. That could be challenging. It actually cuts quite nicely. A lot thinner than I thought it would be. Okay, got one more section here to cut off. Perfect. Now this is what I cut off anyway. Let's try it on now and see what it looks like. Oh yeah, much better. I can see right through here. All right, so now we have the actual hole placed in the veil that we need. And so all we have to do now is take this piece of plastic. Now this plastic actually has some real nice shielding material over it so I won't scratch it while I'm cutting it, getting it into place. And then once I get this where I want it, figured out how to cut it, then I'm going to epoxy it in. I'm going to have to cut this a little bit larger than my opening to allow the kind of the point where it welds into the vinyl here, the screen. The other thing that I'm not sure about is whether to place the plastic on the outside or place the plastic on the inside. I kind of feel like it needs to be on the inside. But let's just figure this out. So what I'll do first is actually use this as a template, the part I cut out. And so I'm going to have to cut a piece bigger than this. That won't work sideways, it'll be too close. So maybe I'll just plan on coming in probably about right here. That would be fine. Let me take my queen marking pen and I'll use it to draw on my plastic here. All right. That's where I want it, so I'm going to overlap it quite a bit. So this would be one point, maybe right here. This would be another point right here. This is going to be a point here, and another point there. All right, so that's my points that I want to cut. Going to draw these lines a little bit off, but I corrected it there. Going to draw this one down to here. This one down to here. And then this one across to this point here. This hopefully will cut with scissors. It might be hard to cut with scissors, but I want to try it with scissors. I should have brought it down further and I wouldn't have had to cut that piece off. I'll tell you what, let's leave this piece. I think it'll be fine to leave it. Now we'll just cut it like this. It's cutting, but it is hard. It's plastic, this plastic is hard, but I want it to be hard, and also I want it to be somewhat flexible so that it can move a little bit with the veil. I don't want it to be so hard that it can't move. I think I'm going to wind up getting queen marking paint on me anyway. Okay. Ooh, that looks pretty good to me. I think what I'll try to do, if I can, I think I'll mix my epoxy and actually force it. Gosh, I want to just see if I can force my epoxy to go through the screen and into the plastic. Maybe a section at a time. I think what I'll do first is a little bit of an experiment to see what this spare little piece feels like if I were to attach some of the vinyl screen onto this piece of plastic. By doing it this way, I got a better idea of what I'll be dealing with when I get inside there. So we'll just take a little metal plate, do a little mixing up of our equal parts of our epoxy here. Just put a drop on there, equal amount over here. Okay, put the lids back on. Supposed to mix it up for about a minute. Let's take our hive tool. That's not going to work. I don't think it's going to work because we're not probably getting enough on there, maybe. No, that's not going to work. So let's scrap that idea. I've got a better idea, and I'm going to go get it. Since we didn't have much luck with the epoxy, what I'm going to do now is actually use silicone. It's going to take a little bit longer for it to set, but I think what I can do is I can make a bigger bead and I can actually get it to kind of squeeze through the veil at the same time that it's going to actually adhere to this. So let's experiment with the silicone. The netting got bunched up here. I think what I'll do is let it dry overnight as best I can, and then I'll come back and maybe patch that if I need to. Need to put a little pressure on it. Okay. That isn't bad. It's pretty sloppy work, but I'm gonna let that dry overnight and then we'll give it another little seal. That's just a head start. All right, so it's been a day. I've had a chance for the silicone to kind of cure. Let's take a look and see what it's gonna be like. I really think it dried nicely. I was afraid I wouldn't get my screen smashed down against the plastic, but it did smash down very nicely. I need to clean the plastic, but it looks good. The big test is what's going to be like when I put it on. Let's go ahead and put it on and see. Oh, very nice. Perfect. It's perfect. I need to clean the plastic. It's a little bit tacky with dust or something, but very nice. I've got good visibility. Oh my gosh, and very bright. If I look through the screen, it's very dim. My hand is kind of dimmed by the screen, but if I look through the plastic, it's very bright. Wow, maybe I can get a camera in here and show you, but. Okay, so here's what it looks like through the mesh screen. You can kind of see I'm looking off to the side of where the plastic is. You can kind of get an idea of the screen, what you're looking at. Now let's rotate it to where you're looking through the plastic. You see the difference? Looking through the plastic, looking through the screen. That really worked out nicely. Now this would work out better if you had the bee suit that has the kind of the parka type hat that's not a round hat, but it goes like this. The screen is open in the front. That screen is flat. And I think that would work out better because my veil is circular. And so I had to put a piece of flat, straight plastic on a circular veil. Where if you used one of those bee suits that has a parka type hat, then it would be much easier to do because everything would be consistently flat, be easier to work on it. But in my case, it still worked really well. Now, it may look funky. I know it looks odd, but I'll be the one that finds the eggs a lot faster, and I'll be the one who even finds the queen faster. So if you like beekeeping hacks like this, you might want to get your scissors out and some silicone and give it a whirl, see if maybe you can make things a little more visible for you. Also, I think it's not going to be any more hot. I got a lot of ventilation from my screens all the way around my head, and so I don't think this is going to be a problem at all. It's going to make things a lot easier to see. Now, come on, admit it. This is something that you really want to try, isn't it? I know you do, and hey, why not, right? And for those of you getting packages, I've got a great video, 5 tips on how to deal with packages. Here they are. Here's the video. Take a look. I'll see you next time.